Hello and welcome to the Unity scripting tutorial series where I show you how to get better at scripting in Unity 3D. So today we're going to be going over opening and closing doors, and yeah, so let's jump right into it. So here I have a relatively simple map here. We have an area where we start, an area where we want to go, and you can see here we have a door, a beautiful green door, and the issue, what we're trying to do is essentially open it just like a door. Just like a door normally would, it would rotate around a hinge, which would normally be, if you could see it right here where my cursor is, it would rotate around that, which is how a door opens, right? But here's the issue, and the axis we want to rotate around is the y-axis. But the issue with doing that in Unity, and with any object editor in general, is that it rotates around the center of that object. And this doesn't look much like a door, does it? Nope, definitely doesn't. This is not your normal door. This may be like a rotating door that you find in a hotel, which isn't what we want. We want a normal hinge door that's at the end of a door. So let's go ahead and set that up first. So what we want to do is create an empty game object, and we're going to call this the door hinge. Alright, so once we call that the door hinge, we're going to set it to the exact same position as our door. And our door's position is essentially 0, 1, 0. So we will set our door hinge to 0, 1, and 0. Let's move it to the exact position. Now we're not done yet. We're going to want to move this to much all the way to the side, to the end of that door, which is just about right here. Now we don't want to set it to exactly. We're going to set it to 0.725. Now we don't want to set it to exactly the edge, because what occurs is that it kind of clips within the blue wall, which doesn't look very good, and it doesn't look very professional when you finish it. So instead of 725, we're going to set it to negative 0.625, which should rotate it without too much clipping. That would just look unprofessional. All right, so now we have that. Now that we have that door hinge set up there, we're going to drag in our door and drag and drop it right on top of the name door hinge in our hierarchy. We're going to let go, and you can see now that if we rotate on the y-axis of our door hinge, be able to see that our door opens up just like a normal door, which is exactly what we want. Now we need to go into scripting and go ahead and make this work with a button press. So we're going to go ahead and go into our door hinge object and make a script called door control. This script is essentially just the control for our door. Essentially that's what it's going to do. And it's going to be in C#. If you'd like to translate it to JavaScript, go on right ahead. It's all up to you. We're going to go ahead and create and add this. Alright, so here we are in our script. We're going to start off by naming a few variables. Our first one is going to be a float known as speed, which is how fast our door is going to be moving. Our next one is going to be angle, which is the desired angle that our door is going to be moving towards. And finally, a vector 3 known as direction, which will be changing depending on what angle our door is currently at. And this will by default be vector 3.up, which is going to be our y-axis. We'll skip the start function for now, and let's go to the update. We're going to start off by making an if statement, and I'll type it all out, and I'll explain exactly what it does after I finish. Okay, so here we are with this if statement. The if statement is asking whether or not, if we were to round using mathf.round, if we were to round our angle, our y-axis, whatever it may be, and it doesn't equal our desired angle, then we are going to go ahead and rotate our door, which is what we're going to put right here. We're going to put rotate our door is all going to go right there, but we'll do that in a minute. But yeah, now why are we going ahead and we're rounding? Now the reason why we're rounding is because we're not going to access a very specific type of angle, because sometimes the door will move past it and it will not be able to access, it'll not be able to hit that exact number that we want. So we'll just make it round so we get a general range of values instead of just one specific one that the frames may skip. Alright, so let's go ahead and rotate our door. All we need to do is do a beautiful method known as transform.rotate. Makes it that simple. And we're going to be using direction because it takes a vector 3, which is known as direction. We already have that set. But we're going to be multiplying our direction by speed to give it, so we can vary the speed out, not capitalizing.
so we can vary out our speed so we don't have to be limited to whatever speed our direction already holds. Alrighty, so now that we have that, we can get out of this if statement and go ahead and test if we pressed a button. Specifically, we're going to do input.getKeyDown, and we're going to test for keycode.o, and O being the O key on our keyboard. And what's going to happen is we're going to set angle equal to 90. So our desired angle now is going to be set to 90, and it's going to rotate in the y-axis. In this case, we're going to make it positive when we set it here, and at that speed, and it's going to move towards that angle until it can round to that angle, then it'll stop rotating. So after we've set the angle, we're going to set our direction when we press O, and our direction is going to be set to vector3.up, which is shorthand for writing vector3 0 1 0, makes things easier. Alright, so our next and final if statement that we're going to be typing today is going to be testing for a close button. We're going to do the same thing that we just did before, but instead of doing keycode.o, we're doing keycode.c. And this time we're going to set our angle, this time we're going to set our angle back to 0, its starting position. And then what we're going to do is we're going to set direction to negative vector3.up. That's because we're moving backwards and not in the positive direction, but rather we're moving back to our 90. And that's pretty much it, besides one more thing that we need to do. Angle is not set. It's just set to 0. And we may be starting at a different, axis when we start. So we're going to go ahead and do that. We're going to set our angle equal to transform.eulerangles.y at the beginning of the game. So we can set angle to whatever our starting angle was when we first launched up the game. Alright, so that is the script, and in all of its entirety, it's quite simple. So let's go ahead and test it out. Alrighty, so here we are with all of our beautiful variables loaded in. We'll go ahead and set speed to equal to 3. I think that's a pretty good speed there. And let's go ahead and run the game. Be able to see here that, let me click here to show you the changing speeds and stuff. And if we go ahead and press O, you'll see that the door opens beautifully in towards the angle 90, because that's the angle that it's currently at. Though it doesn't seem like it's exactly on that angle, Unity for some reason decides to go ahead and go very, very close to it, but trust me, it is basically, not exactly, but it's at 90 degrees. And that's pretty much it. And then when we press C, it'll go all the way back to 0 as intended. And you'll see that the direction changes from a negative, which is what it used before, to now positive, and then negative, and then positive. And there you go. That is opening and closing doors. It's quite simple, and it's a very easy process to do. Alright, so that's just about it. Thank you so much for watching this episode, and if you have any suggestions for future episodes, go ahead and comment down below what you would like to see. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.